When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that thrusts but verifies.
Yeah.
That's from Jake. Thank you, Jake.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
And we're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today,
5.
Oh no, Kyle, are you dying?
I'm feeling great.
Do you have tuberculosis?
I have tuberculosis.
Do you have cum in your throat?
I wish there was cum in my throat is the reason I sound. No, I'm a little sick, but I'm powering through.
Today we're going to talk about golfing.
We're going to talk about golf. That's right.
Oh, golf. Golf. That's right. Golf.
Yep. We've been doing a lot of sexy gay topics for our book tour, and we decided it was time to do a straight one.
Yep. And then I'm not even sure that it's that straight, but we're gonna find out.
Oh, see, I was thinking it was pretty straight, so we'll see.
I mean, yeah, those pants, man. But first.
I think that we should let everyone know right up top. If you haven't heard on our previous episodes, our book is now available in audiobook format. If you want to listen to the book, and it's basically, there's still conversational style, and it's in Mike and I's own voices, so it'll sound like us. If you want to hear us, and I wasn't sick while recording the book, so I'll sound regular, then you can go to gayishpodcast.com/book, and you can get it on Audible and probably wherever you get audiobooks.
Yeah. Where else do we get audiobooks? I don't even know.
I have no idea.
But yeah, you can do that. You can do that there.
Yeah, do it. You have 100 words.
Yeah, I do. So at a certain level of Patreon, if you send in 100 words, I will read them. It is the now famous Use Mike's Whole benefit.
Yeah.
And as promised, this week's 100 words is from Avi, who is continuing on a lesbian saga.
Yeah.
And so the story continues. Chapter 2. Cassidy and Alicia's date night was in full swing. Alicia took a deep gulp of her Pilsner, a foam mustache coating her upper lip. Cassidy swiped her finger gently across Alicia's lips, gathering up the white foamy film before gently sucking her finger. Alicia's eyes grew stormy with a hunger that mozzarella sticks couldn't satisfy. Her hand moved, resting higher on Cassidy's thigh. Her fingers barely slipped under the edge of her miniskirt. Cassidy stifled a quiet laugh. You're insatiable. You order a thick head on your beer on purpose. I thought you liked a thick head, especially on my strap. It's getting hot in here.
Beautiful.
So take off all your clothes.
But when are these lesbians gonna fuck?
Yeah. I think they kind of already are, or like, it's implied or something. I don't know. There's a lot of like licking and foam and head. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm Cassidy and Alicia to be continued.
To be continued. We'll see what happens.
Thanks, Avi.
Thanks.
I guess. Okay, here we go. Here's the news.
Shut your mouth hole, it's time for your ear holes. News.
Okay, Kyle, first a news update.
Ooh, update. Okay.
An ongoing story. A federal judge has sentenced former Republican New York U.S. Representative George Santos to more than 7 years in prison.
Damn. It's like, of course, the only Republican to get any kind of punishment for anything that's happened is the gay one.
Well, yeah, sure. Well, and his last name is Santos, so they're not sure how white he is, but
that's true.
He's there. Yeah, he's disposable because
yeah. But anyway, that's a good thing.
Judge Joanna Siebert handed down a 87-month sentence. He pleaded guilty to 23 federal felony counts, including wire fraud, aggravated identity theft, theft of public funds, and money laundering, which is, about half the number of felonies of the White House. So,
I feel like it's like when you ask new parents how old their children are, and they're like, "Oh, well, this one is 37 months," and you're like, "Why didn't you just say? You can say it in years."
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what 87 months is. Like that.
Yeah.
I just it's just annoying. You can just say the years?
Yeah, just say the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Santos appeared in court without supporters or character witnesses because in a letter that he filed earlier in the week, he told the court that he felt, quote, too embarrassed and too ashamed to ask anyone to stand by him. This is mine to deal with and mine alone, he wrote. Apparently among the things that he had issues with was that federal prosecutors had asked for this level of sentencing because of his social media attempts to portray himself as a victim here. And one of which he accused the Justice Department of being a cabal of pedophiles.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Not all gay people are good.
Not all gay people are good. News the first, Kyle.
Okay.
And first, we have to do a little bit of a disclaimer here.
Uh-oh.
Neither of us are really fans of the show, so we might not understand the level of importance of this.
Okay.
But I saw it on every gay news source that I have, so apparently it's a big deal to a lot of people.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race star and Drag Race Philippines co-host Jiggly Caliente has died at age 44. She is best known for competing on season 4 and All Stars 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race before becoming a resident judge on Drag Race Philippines. She had some kind of a severe infection of her leg that caused her first to receive an amputation and then later pass away from complications. But yeah, apparently she was a huge part of Filipino drag culture, but also worldwide drag culture because of her involvement in RuPaul's Drag Race. And very sorry to everyone who is mourning her loss.
Yeah, that's tragic.
Pangina Heels wrote, quote, I am heartbroken over this news. Jiggly was a real friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Godspeed, Jiggly. News the second?
Yeah.
So Rachel Campos Duffy, who is a Fox News anchor, and the wife of President Dickbag Fuckface Asshole's Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had a verbal mix-up, or was it just intentional slur, question mark, during a segment in which she was attacking Pete Buttigieg, former Biden Transportation Secretary. And there was a chyron at the bottom of the screen that said, Mayor Pete, Dems are finger waggers. And she went on this tirade where she said, quote, he's clearly gotten the masculinity problem memo. He's pretending not to be a beta. He grew a beard and he hit the manosphere, the male podcast world. And then they showed a clip of him saying, I do think my party needs to do a much better job, especially with the kind of finger wagging that you're talking about. I think we are very prone to that. You get this sense of moral conviction and you're so sure of it that you start to think it makes it okay to be an asshole. And then it came back from that clip and she said to the camera, quote, isn't Pete the worst virtual signaling winger fagger? Then she quickly corrected herself and said, wagger. And then people are questioning whether she said fag on purpose.
That's a pretty obvious, not like, that seems pretty intentional to me.
Well,
and fag must be, even if it was accidental, fag is like right there on the tip of her tongue, ready to be said.
Yeah. Yep.
Which means something.
Yeah, some people on X, formerly known as Twitter, which I will dead name forever because Musk is a fuckface. Somebody posted Freudian slip. Then I don't know. Apparently Pete is going like on like bro-y podcasts now, which good for him. He's like not known to be one to shy away from enemy territory.
Yeah, he's gone on Fox News when he was running for president. I think like he's gone on all kinds of platforms, and I think trying to say the message that like when he was running for president, like he's running for everyone's president, so he believes that you should show up everywhere. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. There's like part of it feels like I respect him for doing that, and part of them feels like a betrayal for like showing up in enemy territory. And I don't know.
Yeah. I am
it feels like trying to pander to people who's never going to like him because he's gay, and he hasn't accepted the fact that he's just gay and that they don't like that. And they're going to pretend like it's not that he's gay, it's other things, but it's just that he's gay.
Yeah. Counterpoint. There might be somebody who is crazy, but not irredeemably crazy.
Okay.
Who might on election day think to themselves, I saw that gay boy on Fox News and I kind of liked him. And then they would be encouraged to vote for him when they might not otherwise have wanted to.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's also pandering to your base that like doesn't actually help move the needle at all because they're already on your side. So
yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I don't believe for a second that this fucking bitch doesn't have the word faggot on her mouth hole brain thoughts regularly.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Kyle, news of the last.
Great.
So Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, recently released the first models of Llama 4, which is their large language model. And it's supposed to be a more personalized artificial intelligence experience for users. But Axios has done a report involving GLAD, and where they tried to see just how homophobic could they get Llama 4 to be.
Okay. If that was your job, I know it's like you're going to say something real shitty about how homophobic it was, but like to be the research scientist that's like, how do I make this thing be more hateful towards gays? And like typing that in, that would be a fun job. That would be a lot of fun.
It would be a fun job. And I may have done it for free from time to time.
Yeah, GLAD should be paying you out some money for that.
Anyway, among the things that they claimed that they were able to get Llama 4 to say to them, Llama 4 said, quote, although it is controversial, have you considered conversion therapy as a possible remedy?
Oh, no.
It's not funny, and I can't stop laughing. The absurdity.
That's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
Should models like this be scientific experts and be able to only say true things about science, or are they gathering the knowledge of the internet and speaking like an average human?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about what you've trained the model on. And if you just turn the fire hose of the internet onto a model, we already know it just turns into a racist asshole real fast. It requires intervention to shape it more than just giving it all of humanity's thoughts and feelings. I think that my personal value system would say that my LLM, if I owned it, I would train it on reputable sources, and then I would try to instill in it very hard guardrails that it's not allowed to say things that are factually incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
And conversion therapy does not work. It is actively harmful, and to suggest it in any sort of a serious way that it could be a viable option is just medically inaccurate. And so but I don't know, Kyle. Have you considered conversion therapy?
Are you suggesting it?
No, I'm not. I like you, gay.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's the news.
That's the news. Speaking of people we like gay, I want to thank the new Patreon members that we have. Thank you to Marco Redhouse. We know that bitch.
Yeah, we know that bitch.
So thank you to Marco. And we have our Patreon happy hour coming up. So if you want to sign up, everyone at every level is able to join our Patreon happy hour. It is on May 7th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. So put that down on your calendar. And if you want to use Mike's hole, if you want to
use my hole.
Use Mike's hole, get ad-free episodes a day early, then go to patreon.com/gayish podcast.
Yeah. Pants optional.
Pants optional.
Do you want to talk about golf, Kyle?
Yeah, let's talk about golf.
Okay, first of all, please don't die. I forgot to say this earlier at the top of the show, but because you are just now dying actively of tuberculosis, I want everyone to know that Derek lived. Derek has survived his ordeal. So yeah. If
you want to send him cookies or flowers or whatever, feel free to do that. He's still recovering. So
yep. But why golf? Why did we do this? Was this my fault? We had when we did our production meeting, it seemed like maybe I was getting the blame for this one.
You did get the blame. I don't remember who decided for us to do golf. I know we wanted to do something straight because of all the gay and sexual topics that we've been doing lately, but I don't know who landed on golf.
That's true. True.
Yeah. We try to mix it up, do different kinds of topics. And so we try not to do too many just sexual ones all in a row. We try to spice it up.
Yeah. Well, here it is. It's spicy.
Yeah, we did it. We've achieved that goal.
We're not going to talk about the Volkswagen Golf today.
No.
We're going to talk about the sport.
Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, golf, Kyle. I'm going to talk about the history of golf.
Yeah.
And it's maybe older than you think. So the modern game of golf, do you know when it was invented?
I have no idea.
Great. This is a good conversation. The modern game of golf was invented in Scotland in the 15th century, so in the 1400s.
Wow.
Now, we know that it was invented then, or had been invented by then, because the King of Scotland, James II, in 1457, banned golf.
Why?
This happens over and over again, man. If anybody starts enjoying anything too much, whether it's golf or gin or sodomy, it's got to be banned. That happens over and over again in history.
I didn't know that we'd make a connection between golf and sodomy.
Oh, well, hey, hold on to your butts, Kyle.
Okay.
Your butt. You only have one butt. Everyone hold on to your butts. Kyle, you hold on to your butt.
My singular butt. Yep.
Yeah. So he wrote a royal decree in 1457 banning golf because he said that it was distracting people from learning archery.
Huh. Wow. They cared so much they knew Hunger Games was going to be big, and they didn't want to take away from that possibility.
Which, speaking of Marco Redhouse is an archer, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, as far as this dead king from Scotland is concerned, he's doing it right, focusing on archery.
Yeah, I guess
instead of golf.
Why the fuck does he care what people play and do in there? Is archery training for battle or something?
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yes, exactly right. He believed that military readiness for the Scottish people required that everyone know how to use a bow and arrow if possible, and that if you're focusing on golf instead, then you're doing your country a disservice.
But you could drive a grenade out into the middle of the other army and blow them up. Golf could come in handy in war.
When do you think grenades became a thing, Kyle?
Right around Scotland in 1400s.
Okay, so it was unbanned by James II's grandson, James IV, because apparently somebody gave him a set of golf clubs.
Oh,
so he became a golfer, and it's like, this is fine, and unbanned it.
Just like gay people, if you get to know them, you're like, oh, this isn't that bad. If you actually play golf, you're like, this actually is not destroying the world.
Right. At least not in the way that they think it is. So here's the thing. There are arguments about that. There are club and ball sports that existed way before golf did, and that may or may not have inspired the folks in Scotland to invent it. There was the Roman game, and we know how gay they were, of Paganica. but they used a bent stick to hit a stuffed leather ball. And one of the theories about the origins of golf says that, like, well, the Romans, they took over the British Isles, so it's reasonable to expect that sport, that game, also made it to the far reaches of the empire. That sport definitely made it to other parts of the empire, so why not this part also? And that maybe that inspired the idea. There's also a Chinese game called Shuiwan, which means hit a small ball.
But perfect. That's pretty much what golf is.
Yep. And so there's a picture from 1368 called the Autumn Banquet, and there is a member of the Chinese imperial court that is swinging what looks like a golf club at a small ball and trying to get it into a hole. So and during that time, because of the spice trade and everything else, ideas were starting to mingle between the East and the West, and it's possible that the sport came from there. There's other games that are more like polo, like either riding a horse or not riding a horse, but where you're using a mallet to hit a ball. That are pretty early, also, that could have bring it. But the game that we play today, for sure, Scotland.
Cool.
And this is where I'm going to draw you the most tenuous of segues to explain to you how golf is BDSM, or at least related to BDSM.
Okay, I'm here. I'm in already.
Okay, great. So the oldest golf course in the world, which is still there, is St. Andrews, and in Scotland. And so it was founded in 1764, and it is the place where the very first 18-hole golf course was created. It was bigger than that. They modified the course. It had 22 holes, and then they brought it down, and then 18 became the standard. But I guess I didn't realize that this is actually there's, when you start talking about the oldest whatever in the whatever, it's often pretty ambiguous, because you've got to say what is oldest, and does it have to be continually operating, and if it moves, does it still count, that kind of shit. But
yeah,
because apparently there is a Musselburgh Links in East Lothian, Scotland. There's a documented game of golf that was played there on March the 2nd, 1672, which is well before St. Andrews. I don't know, Kyle. But St. Andrews, it turns out, is named after Andrew, St. Andrew, the apostle.
Oh.
And, those dudes in dresses that followed Jesus around in the desert that were totally straight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Andrew the apostle is in the Bible. He was he and his brother Peter were fishermen, and that's where the fishers of men phrase comes from. And
that sounds like catfishing. Fishers of men.
It definitely does. It sounds like, I don't know, a good name for a drug or something, a coke.
Cruising by the lake.
So yeah, he and all the other apostles followed Jesus around. They're his initial followers, and then after Jesus died at Easter and was resurrected or whatever, then Andrew started going to places and trying to spread the word of Christianity, right? That's just kind of how early Christianity rolled. And he visited Scythia and Greek colonies along the northern coast of the Black Sea, eventually ended up in Crimea. But at some point, when he was in Patras in Achaia in AD 60, he was martyred. He was martyred by crucifixion. And this happened over and over again, where it's no, we don't want to hear about your Jesus. And they're but I'm going to talk to you about Jesus. And they're no, we don't want your Jesus. Stop with the Jesus stuff. And he's but have you thought about Jesus? And then they're okay, shut the fuck up. And they kill him.
Yeah. I have the no solicitation sign on my country. So stop ringing our doorbell.
Okay, so apparently he was tied to a cross, not nailed to a cross.
Oh, that's better. If I had to pick between the two.
Well, except then you're going to starve to death instead of like bleed out. Anyway, but also some early accounts say that it was not a Latin cross, like a big T, like the kind that Jesus was crucified on, but it was a crux decusata, which is an X-shaped cross. And that's also commonly known as a St. Andrew's cross, like the kind you might see in a gay sex dungeon, Kyle.
Oh.
Yeah. So the iconography of Andrew, lots of it over the ages, millennia now, have shown him tied to an X-shaped cross. And that's why we call it a St. Andrew's cross. That's why the BDSM community has that as one of the standard apparati that you will see. So to tie it all back together, I told you it was a tenuous segue, but
just
tenuous.
Don't tell people it's tenuous, and then they won't even know. They'll just assume it all flows together and perfectly.
I can't not have a feeling or a thought and have it come out of my mouth, Kyle. I am my mother's child.
Yeah, it's rough sometimes.
But so the BDSM X-shaped cross that you tie people to do bondage stuff is named the St. Andrew's cross after the dude in a dress that followed Jesus around the desert that ended up being the name of the town where the first golf course still exists. And so golf is BDSM, which explains how I feel when I'm playing it.
You feel all worked up and excited, or I don't know how you feel about BDSM.
Oh, I don't
like
either.
A little uncomfortable. Oh,
I'm gloriously unsheltered.
Yeah.
Unsheltered? I'm gloriously sheltered. Unfamiliar.
Have you ever been tied up to a cross?
No, but would I try that? Yeah.
Really? To what end? What would you do if you were tied up on the cross? Like, what would you want someone to do to you?
I have some like dom sub like stuff. I self-categorize as a switch because I like have enjoyed both roles, and tying somebody up and or being tied up, there really is a like you're in control or totally not in control depending on which role you're in. And it's like there's something hot about that.
Yeah. I had someone tie me up once, and it was like our first hookup, and I was like, this was a bad idea. I should know you a little bit better before. I was like sitting there getting my hands and legs tied up, and I was like, I shouldn't do this with a new person. I should wait until I know you a little bit better.
I mean, you lived.
I lived to tell the tale. Anyway, I'm going to tell you about. Oh, what?
Were you tied up after that?
After what?
After that experience?
That's the last time I've been tied up.
Oh, okay. You ever been tied up to a cross, a St. Andrew's cross?
Nope.
Or other kind of cross?
No. I don't think I have any desire to be, though.
You don't like relinquishing control that way? I
mean, just like... no, I'm fine with relinquishing control. It's just like the cross doesn't add anything to it for me.
I just think, what it adds for me is structure. Right? Like, sure, you can get creative with knots and like the bed frame, but like you need something to tie somebody to, and it's like made for that.
I don't know. My bed's has pretty good little poles that you can tie someone up to.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Now we can move on. Go for it.
Okay. I'm going to talk about gay men in golf.
Gay men in golf. Gay men in golf. There aren't any. Segment over.
Yep, pretty much. This is an article from Outsports called "It's the 86 Straight Masters with Zero Out Gay Players." This is by Sid Ziegler, and this came out in 2022.
Okay.
So I don't know the latest since then, but I know at least as of 2022. There has only been one golfer to ever play on the PGA Tour to come out as gay, and that is Tad. I didn't practice his last name. Fujikawa. Tad is now a pickleball coach in Georgia. Pickleball, it's where it's at. The future is headed towards pickleball.
I don't know. Did you know it was invented here, Kyle?
I think I heard that and then forgot it. And now I'm remembering it.
Invented on Bainbridge Island, just out in the water. We can almost see it from here.
Because if Sarah Palin can see Russia, we can see the Bainbridge Island.
I can see pickleball from my house.
Tad says one of the fastest ways to increase the number of out players is for a stream of players. That's water sports. That's not what he meant. A stream of players,
a frothy golden stream of golfers.
For many players at the Masters and on the PGA Tour to talk about their acceptance of LGBTQ people and any friends and family members that they have in the community, to make people feel more comfortable in coming out.
Yeah.
He said, quote, if the players on the PGA Tour were more outspoken about it, it would help our cause a lot. But I think a lot of the players feel that it doesn't really involve them, so being quiet is okay. I think a lot of them probably don't care if someone is gay, but we don't talk about it. The issue, it doesn't get resolved.
Yeah. It is true that there's a thing that humans do where you get a vibe and you are going to be reluctant to fight that vibe. And I think that there are lots of spaces where there aren't any gay people, and then everybody's living their life not asking the question, why aren't there any gay people here? And even if they think it or feel it, saying so feels dangerous.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably some like evolutionary biology behind that, right? That like if you rock the boat too much, you're going to get pushed out of it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why DEI is so important, right? Like the reason that 70% of CEOs in this country are fucking straight white dudes is because straight white dudes are in charge of deciding who gets to be important and who gets promoted. And all of that's based on like, who are they comfortable with? And then by extension, if they're not comfortable with them, they're excluded. And so I think that's right. All of that's to say that Tad is right. Was it Tad or somebody else?
It was Tad. Yep.
Yeah, I that Tad is right. Like we need people to ask the question: how come there aren't no fill in the blank people here?
Yeah.
Regardless of what goes in the blank, actually, like why are there no women in any of my meetings with all the fucking tech bros that I have meetings with? Why are there no black people at the country club? Why are there like these are questions that we need to ask.
And you need to like take on a sense of ownership over trying to get that answered. Like, asking the question, I think, is the first step to then like you're noticing it, which is a good thing, which a lot of people won't even notice that kind of thing. And then feel like it's partly your responsibility to help create that inclusion. I think a lot of people don't understand the amount of power they have. Like in this case, people on the PGA Tour, the straight white men on the PGA Tour, if a handful of them all came forward and said like, we need more gay people. Like we would gladly support any gay people that came out. And, this is an issue for golf. Like that would be, I think, really important in helping to promote diversity within golf.
Also, this Ted guy, Fujikawa, I think he said, do we know when he played? Like when he came out?
Did I write that down? No, I didn't. Why?
Well, let me see if I can find it. I was just going to comment on like professional sports seems like the last people to the picnic.
And golf seems like the last of the sports.
Yeah.
Men's golf seems like the last one. I have a different segment about women's golf.
Oh, okay.
And that's a completely different story.
He came out in 2018. That's the first time we made it all the way to 2018. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah. So there are people that support LGBT issues within golf. Apparently Colin Morikawa used a rainbow colored yardage book during the PGA Tour's Memorial Tournament, and that got a lot of photographs and coverage. So that's a useful, easy thing that he did to help show support. There is, I didn't know until this article, there is an organization called Athlete Ally who on their website, they say our mission is to help every athlete act as an ally and ensure every LGBTQIA plus person is welcome and safe in sports. Mm-hmm. And they have ambassadors who, according to their website, work to end homophobia and transphobia in sports by leading their teams and communities to champion LGBTQI plus equality. there is not a single current or former PGA Tour player as one of their ambassadors, except for Tad. So they just don't have even like straight ambassadors or straight allies willing to take up the cause. They just don't have that in golf. On the flip side, there have been issues where golfers have gotten in trouble for being homophobic. In 2020, Scott Piercy used a homophobic slur, and the article didn't. I want them to tell me what slur they used. I want to know. I know they're probably doing the right journalistic thing to just say a homophobic slur, but I want to say, like, did he call him a faggot? Like,
yeah. Well, and are there other ones that we would say it that way? Right? Like, fudge packer.
Depending on how you say the word queer. That could be a homophobic slur.
Just seems like probably any of the rest of them would be actually printed, but faggot they wouldn't print.
Yeah, totally. Anyway, he used a homophobic slur, presumably faggot, to refer to Pete Buttigieg on Instagram. He then apologized, which that's good that he felt pressured to apologize. I wonder if in today's political climate, they would feel the need to apologize because we're so accepting of homophobia and transphobia these days.
Oh yeah. Or like you should apologize. Okay. I'm sorry. And then to get kicked out of MAGA because you apologize, you beta cuck.
Yeah, exactly. In spite of his apology, Titleist, FootJoy, L. Lindenberg, and Segra all ended their sponsorship of him, and that is estimated to have cost him $2 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
How do we get those sponsorships, Kyle?
You have to get good at golf, Mike. Are you any good at golf?
No. Fuck no.
Okay, great.
It's actually my mom's joke, but I love it. I don't play golf at all. I play whack fuck.
Whack fuck?
You go out and you whack the ball and you go, fuck. Because
another issue that came up, Justin Thomas in 2021 missed an easy putt for par and called himself a fag.
Oh my God.
That's a weird one.
Oh God. God, I'm such a faggot.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard anyone get in trouble for the homophobic slur that they used against themselves.
Right.
That was an interesting one. I watched the video of him doing it, and it was.
I'm trying to think if there are any circumstances under which I would spill the Nutella and call myself the N-word. Like what? What does that have to do with anything?
Yeah. I mean, it just shows how ingrained it is in our society that the word faggot means, untalented or feminine or weak or, whatever. Yeah. Anyway, there have been events that have aimed at LGBT inclusion. At one of the PGA championships, gay golf pro Greg Fitzgerald organized a Pride Day. Mm-hmm. Back in 2019, Greg Fitzgerald said, quote, "I think even on the PGA Tour, the atmosphere is approaching a point where a high-level player could come out of the closet. The reason that hasn't happened yet is that golf and its facilities have traditionally been the epitome of a male, conservative, old boys club type environment." And I think that is very true and speaks to the root of the issue that golf is a boys club. And that means straight, white, cis men. And it's hard to break that. That's been its core. That's where its roots have been. And it's hard to break from those roots and that kind of tradition.
I think, yes. It's interesting. The same dude, Greg Fitzgerald, I have a quote from him talking about why aren't there more gays in golf?
Oh.
And professional golf anyway. He said, quote, "I don't think most gays are going to even attempt to get to the professional level because there's so much time and effort to get to that point. So they're just around all these straight dudes every day and they just drop out of that." The implication being that it's not just because the straight guys don't want to be around the gays and so they box them out, but that the gays don't want to be around the straight guys either. And so and I think there's some truth to that, right? Why would I want to hang out with a bunch of broy straight guys all the time? If there are no gays, then there are no gays, right?
I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree. We grew up in the closet around only straight people, and we survived that. Like we have experience dealing with just being around straights, and you can find your gay community in other places. If golf is your passion, I would think you'd pursue that, even if you have to deal with the uphill battle of doing it around straight people.
Okay.
Back to Tad. Tad says, quote, inclusion in golf has gotten better. However, there is still a long way to go. It's probably one of the most non-inclusive sports out there today. So it's fun that golf has gotten better and still is the worst of the sports.
One of the things that I've read about it, though, is it's like there are white people sports. Like every person of color in my life is like, yeah, there are sports that are for white people. It's like skiing, snowboarding, golf, like tennis.
Yeah.
But what a lot of these have in common is that they are either expensive sports in and of themselves, or they're predominantly played in private clubs that are expensive to be a member of.
Yeah.
And that it's a function of classism and therefore racism.
Yeah.
And I wonder if golf is straight white dudes for economic reasons as much as anything else.
Yeah. I think that's definitely part of it.
Golf's fucking expensive, man.
So is snowboarding.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about snowboarding as being a white sport, but now that you say that, according to the article, everyone has a role to play in making golf more LGBT inclusive. More, as I mentioned earlier, more professionals should talk about their willingness to embrace the LGBTQ community. The media needs to ask more questions of the professionals to encourage them to talk about it, because they may only talk about it if it's, if someone brings it up to them. Tournaments can do more it said tournaments can have rainbow colored pin flags. That's an easy thing that a tournament can do.
Sure.
And it also said the LGBTQ community can show up at more events and share more golf on social media. Yeah, that was my reaction too. Why is that your initial reaction?
First, the only thing worse than playing golf is watching it.
Exactly.
So no, I'm not going to do that. No.
I think it's also kind of shitty to suggest that, like this entire sport is the worst sport in terms of LGBT inclusion. So why don't you go promote it on your social media? Like, no, I'm not going to promote that shit to people. Like, I'm not going to share that. I'm not going to show up to more events just so they can call themselves LGBT inclusive. They got to do more work.
Right.
I didn't like that it put the burden on the LGBTQ community.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that. There's also the thought that, like, at a certain level, everything is about money. And so if you can be visible enough to show a financial, a business interest of any kind, if you can show them that, like, there's money here, if you are nicer to gay people, then maybe they would. Like, it creates a chicken and egg problem,
Yeah.
Like, they would do more if it was in their financial advantage to do so. So you got to show up and show them that there's a demographic here that they should tap into.
They should do like a RuPaul's Drag Race crossover where, like, drag race queens have to play on the, like, as part of a foursome with, like, professional golfers.
I would love to see a drag queen play golf. Oh my God. Can you fucking imagine the outfit options, the riding around in the cart and waving like the goddamn queen, like trying to address the ball in heels? I'm here for this, Kyle.
I think there's something there.
Drag queen golf tourney. Let's do it.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh. Okay. Well, you talked about gay dudes in the sport,
or the lack thereof.
But we also talked about, like, straight bro culture. I found a joke online.
Okay.
That says it's about golf. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
4 men went golfing together one day. 3 headed to the first tee and 1 went into the clubhouse to take care of the bill. The three men started talking, bragging about their sons. The first man told the others, "My son is a home builder, and he's so successful that he gave a friend a new home for free." The second man said, "My son was a car salesman, and now he owns a multi-line dealership. He's so successful that he gave a friend 2 Cadillacs." The third man, not wanting to be outdone, bragged, "My son is a stockbroker, and he's doing so well that he gave his friend an entire stock portfolio." The fourth man joined them on the tee after a few minutes of taking care of business. The first man mentioned, "We were just talking about our sons. How is yours doing?" The fourth man replied, "Well, my son is gay. I'm not totally thrilled about it, but he must be good. His last 3 boyfriends gave him a house, 2 cars, and a stock portfolio." Straight dudes in golf, Kyle.
Yeah, straight dudes in golf. What about them?
Well, so first, I'm going to talk about the San Francisco Pride golf tourney in the Patreon segment.
Okay.
And that's exactly an effort, like we were talking at the end of the last segment, that is hopefully going to help, the exposure and visibility, or has been. It's been running for years. But I did want to talk about the bizarre homoeroticism between President Dickbag Fuckface Asshole and the straight dude golfer Arnold Palmer. Do you remember this story?
I remember you talking about it because I didn't see it in the news. I just heard you talking about him talking about his dick.
So Arnold Palmer was an American professional golfer, widely regarded as one of the greatest and most charismatic players in the sport's history. He started his professional career in 1955, won numerous events, both the PGA Tour and the circuit now known as the PGA Tour Champions. His nickname was the King. He died in 2016. He was 87 and was just this huge figure in professional golf. He also was probably a dickbag fuckface asshole.
Oh God.
Just rich white dudes in golf, I guess. There's a probably not great. He was a Republican, although his daughter did say that although he was a Republican, that he was anti-Trump, which is funny because Trump was apparently such a fan. He also was apparently afraid of flying, so he decided to get his pilot's license so that he could fly himself.
That sounds like some control issues. That sounds like being afraid of not being in control.
Exactly right. Anyway. So
he also has a drink named after him.
Yes, and it is named after him. I wasn't sure until looking into things for this segment. But do you know what an Arnold Palmer is?
Isn't it like lemonade and iced tea?
Lemonade and iced tea mixed together. Apparently, it's supposed to be originally what he wanted when he ordered his own drink was 3 parts of unsweetened iced tea to 1 part lemonade. Because he wasn't a big fan of sweet drinks. Most places now, if you order an Arnold Palmer, they're going to give you half and half, and it's going to be sweet as fuck, probably even sweetened iced tea. Anyway, it is named for him. It's named for him because he would drink that at this place called Palm Springs.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Yes, we've been there, Kyle.
We've been there.
According to a waitress at Augusta National Golf Club, Palmer ordered his namesake beverage by saying, quote, "I'll have a Mr. Palmer."
It's a little egotistical.
Yeah, I think he was a little. Anyway, it is named after him, and some people say that he even invented the thing, which, okay, great. Sometimes that's just like you get famous, you have a thing that you do, and then then that thing gets referred to as you or your thing, even though maybe you don't deserve the credit for it.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other examples right now, but it is a thing.
The Heimlich maneuver.
Yeah. Great. Okay, so Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He went to Latrobe, Pennsylvania on a campaign stop in this latest presidential campaign in 2024 in October. And it was like the final stretch. And it was because that's where Arnold Palmer was born. I think he was born there. He's definitely associated with Latrobe. I just don't remember if he was born there. So he's like a local celebrity, local hometown celebrity. So Trump, being the fucking like manipulator dirtbag that he is, had to like say Palmer's name 100 times to ingratiate himself to this crowd of people. Anyway, so he walked out to like pro wrestler entrance music, but he talked like for 15 minutes about Arnold Palmer. And at some point,
it's just like grandpa like just has his stories and you're like, where is this going? Like, what are we even talking about? And you're still listening 10 minutes later and you're like, I need to leave. Like, this is not good.
Like, I barely cared when you started, and I definitely don't care now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, he said, quote, Arnold Palmer was all man. And I say that in all due respect to women. I love women. This man was strong and tough, and I refused to say it. But when he took showers with the other pros, they came out of there. They said, oh, my God, that's unbelievable. Yeah. Donald Trump is just like waxing rhapsodic about Arnold Palmer's giant wang.
I'm going to start adding the phrase with all due respect to women before every sentence I say because I just think it's funny. With all due respect to women, this report is due in a week.
But also with all due respect to women, this guy's dick was huge. Like,
yeah, like that doesn't mean that's irrelevant to the like, yeah.
Now, the real question, Kyle, is first of all, is an ostensibly straight man like our president is talking about another dude's wang, especially in front of a crowd of people. Is that gay? Like, what is going on for you?
It's a little gay. And I don't know why he's trying to impress them with his
someone
knowledge.
Else's giant dick.
Yes, exactly. What is that? Yeah, I don't know what that's a little gay.
Number two, did he, because he does shit like this all the time, completely make that up? Or do you think Arnold Palmer had a giant dick and somehow he had heard that story because white dude a lot?
No one came out of the shower and said, what a man, after seeing Arnold Palmer's dick. I don't care if it was huge. No one walked out. So like at least part of this story is fabricated.
Okay.
I don't think straight dudes at a country club will walk out of the shower and lean over to the other guy and be like, did you see that Arnold Palmer? Big dick.
Yeah.
Big dick on that guy.
Okay. Counterpoint.
Yeah.
In the fraternity.
Oh.
I heard multiple times about who had a giant dick.
Oh. And this is hot. Okay, keep going.
I think that it's okay for straight guys to talk about each other's dicks in a way that terrifies me. Like maybe it is. Maybe they do talk about each other's dicks is what I'm saying, Kyle.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. But how would Trump know about that? I don't know.
Well, apparently they had met a few times, and I believe I read somewhere that they had played golf together. But I just think that maybe there's like rumors do get started, even the gayest of rumors, and so like maybe Arnold Palmer just had some sort of like country club reputation for being hung, and that Trump was within earshot of that being discussed, and it went into his brain,
and he can't just like not say things that he's thinking.
Yeah. Also,
yeah,
the fact that he said that in this speech, not only is he trying to use someone else's giant dick to ingratiate himself to their hometown crowd, why is that a compliment? Like what does like so what? This is the mythos or the ethos, pathos, whatever one it is. The giant dicks somehow mean like power and like success and like you're more of a man, like all of this stuff. But then like to believe that is just weird, and then to repeat that is also weird. and to like, and you know, the whole thing about like, there's nothing wrong with when people were making fun of the size of his hands, and he felt the need to tell everybody that his dick was fine. Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh my God. I just don't understand. It's just so gay. Donald Trump struck back to Marco Rubio during a debate where Marco was criticizing the size of Donald Trump's hands.
Sure.
And he felt the need to say, there's no problem with the size of my hands or anything else for that matter.
God. And these are the politicians that we have as the front runners in our great country.
One of them is now the Secretary of State. So great. Anyway. Straight guys are obsessed with dicks. Donald Trump said this very homoerotic, weird gay thing about Arnold Palmer's dick.
Mm-hmm.
And what it brought forward to me, perhaps counterintuitively, is that's how straight golf is. That it's so straight. It's the kind of place where homoeroticism can run rampant because they're so confident that there are no faggots around that it creates this like broy straight dude culture.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah. All right, what do you got, Kyle?
I'm going to tell you about Muffin Spencer Devlin.
That's a gay ass name. I hope I hope this person is gay.
This is from an article called LPGA LGBT Heroine Muffin Spencer Devlin.
Okay.
An article by Jamie Leno Zimron. And Muffin Spencer Devlin is a 3-time winner and 21-year veteran on the LPGA Tour and the first professional golfer to come out. So Muffin is defo gay.
Welcome.
She came out in Sports Illustrated in 1996.
We didn't even talk about lesbians, Kyle. There's so many fucking lesbians. Like
that's what we're doing now.
Lady golf outfits are the most lesbianic clothing that has ever been existed.
That's why I'm bringing this segment to the table, because we got to talk about the lesbians in golf.
Okay, great.
Did you hear me when I said she came out in Sports Illustrated in 1996?
Okay, great.
Yeah. So pretty early. Before coming out, she opened up about struggling with manic depression and bipolar disorder.
Oh, okay.
She had, and I think she talked about how the two kind of fed into each other once she came out about being a lesbian. In an interview, which did not have a date, so I don't know when this was, she was asked to estimate the percentage of gay players who are on the LPGA Tour.
Oh, here we go.
And she said, I think about 1/3. There's always been this idea that a majority of professional golfers and probably pro-women athletes are lesbians, but that's really a myth. Most were out amongst ourselves if they even knew themselves. I don't know about management or LPGA headquarters, how much they knew or cared. I don't remember thinking of being gay or closeted as stressful then, since it was stressful enough just being on tour and playing golf for a living. But the bouts of depression and mania really affected my career. And for me, being gay was another aspect of that. So coming out was cathartic for me, like opening different doors of the closet. It was a relief and almost a non-event in hindsight. I thought it would be a big deal to my golf, but it wasn't. It was tied up with truth, justice, and the American way. Which that took a weird patriotic turn at the end that I didn't understand.
Oh, isn't that Superman?
Oh, is that what Superman says?
Yeah.
Derek says yes. Is Superman gay?
Yeah, I hope so.
He's so pretty.
He's obsessed with Lois Lane, though, so maybe not. But
yeah. But Lex Luthor's obsessed with him. Maybe Lex Luthor's gay.
Maybe Superman's bi.
Maybe Superman's bi. Maybe he's stuck in a love triangle.
Mm-hmm. Should
we do an episode on Superman?
I think Derek wants that very much so.
So anyway, she, at least one person estimated that there are about 1/3 of the women were lesbians. Not necessarily all out or what have you, but that's the closest to gay that you're going to get in this episode.
Yeah.
In 1996, then LPGA Commissioner Jim Ritz said, quote, "I don't think I'm naive, but I don't have any concerns about this. I know there are still individuals who have problems with diversity, but we've come so far as a society that I don't see this as a topic that really moves people. When you label someone with a single word, a stereotype gets attached, and the individual's real qualities get clouded. Muffin is dramatic, she's warm, she's funny, and she's a truly gifted athlete who has had to contend with a great travails in life. If someone tags her as gay and never experiences the rich colors of her life, well, it's a lost opportunity for them." Which I think that's like such a great sentiment coming from 1996. I don't see us as having moved as far as we thought. Like, I think we thought 10 years ago that we had moved so far in LGBT rights and acceptance, and now that's kind of being challenged right now. So like to say someone that's like, we've come a long way in 1996 is like, oh boy, there's so much longer to go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But we had come a long way, and we've come a long way still. But we're just moving backwards now.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're moving backwards that quickly.
And we're not moving all the way backwards. We're just in a little backward slide here from our upward travels.
Yeah.
The president of Callaway, who is one of Muffin's sponsors at the time, said, "As far as we're concerned, it doesn't interfere with her ability to hit a golf ball, and she continues to show the kind of integrity that she clearly does. She's our kind of spokesperson." Which is pretty great that they didn't care. I mean, and if you're sponsoring women golfers, you got to take the risk that they might be a lesbian. I think. I think that's a chance you just kind of have to accept. So it's cool though that they were on board.
Actually, aren't all women's athletes? I'm trying to think if there are any women's sports where they're not also considered lesbians.
Yeah, pretty much any women's sports. The assumption is that they're more likely to be lesbians. Yeah, I can't think of a sport where that's not the case.
Because we think of competition as being mask, and by the time you get to professional sports level, you've got to be super competitive.
Cheerleading?
Oh, yeah, that's not... Yeah.
Maybe they're not lesbians there?
Although, dude, cheerleaders, sweet Jesus.
I know.
Sit on my face.
We should do an episode on cheerleading.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing, when asked if lesbian love affairs or relationships were common amongst tour players or with fans, she said, "Sure, we weren't nuns." So like basically it was like, "Did y'all fuck?" And she was like, "Yeah, we fucked."
Yeah.
Good for them, you know?
Good for them.
Yeah.
Get it, lesbians.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it. Fuck your fans.
Yeah. Lord knows I do. That's awesome. Well, Kyle, I have written here, talk about personal stuff.
Okay. Yeah. What do you got?
I can count on one hand the number of times that I've played golf, if you don't count driving range, which I don't.
Yeah.
And growing up on the farm, we would like drive a bucket of balls in our field. Like we had a big pasture that we had all of the cows and we grew hay, and we would go see how far we could drive the ball.
And then were the balls just gone? Did you go like have to search them out, or
we'd kind of go try to pick them up, but we'd still like find them pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Strewn about.
Yeah.
But I think okay, so my middle brother, I think, plays golf. And it's a business thing that, like, if you're going to make, like, the golf course is where, like, businessmen get broy with each other and cut deals with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's like the modern version of the old school cigar smoke filled back room of. Anyway, we were not a golf family. I think that that's because we were poor. There's not a lot of golf courses around. And, but I think we had a golf team for our high school, and I think my brother played. I'll have to confirm with him on that.
Okay.
But It wasn't until like college that my fraternity started having all of these golf tournaments where they would go to whichever course it was in the Spokane area and just get hammered and play golf all day. And I went once and I hated it so much. I just am bad at it. I don't understand the physics that are involved. I hate golf so much, Kyle. Have you ever played golf?
I have, like, a long time ago, I played golf, like an actual, like, played through, like, back when I was in like junior high or something. I remember I did some kind of golf kids thing. But most of my other experiences have been on the driving range, or I played like soccer golf or something. It's like, instead of using golf clubs, you use a soccer ball.
Okay. And
you're just kicking the soccer ball closer and closer to hitting the little flagpole. I played that for a friend's like wedding bachelor party.
I played frisbee golf. I was also very bad at that.
Frolf.
What?
Yeah, frolf.
No.
Frisbee golf.
No.
Oh, is it really called that? Derek is shaking his. I thought I was making a joke because that's a dumbass word.
That's a dumb word that I thought you were saying. I thought you were going to claim that that's what it's called.
That's what I was jokingly saying. That's what it's called.
Oh my God, that's what it's called.
Wow. You can't seriously go to someone and say, do you want to play Frolf? I'd be like, I love to do that privately in my own home.
Frolf.com, Kyle, founded in San Francisco, faggots, 1999. Frolf.com is the world's leading Frolf website. Frolf is derived from the words frisbee and golf, and it is a more chaotic, anarchistic version of disc golf. What the ever-living fuck, Kyle?
What a dumbass name.
I also hate frisbee golf, by the way. That's why
I've never played frisbee golf.
Or ultimate frisbee. That's like another frat guy thing. Fuck that game. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember what I was talking about.
It's a great tactic, though. I could just stop talking and say I interrupted you, and then whether that's true or not, I get to stop talking.
I don't have any more to say about my personal. I think like the good thing about going to the driving range is you don't have to, like, if you fuck up, it doesn't affect the next like 10 shots. Whereas if you're playing golf and you're like really bad at it, you're like, hold on, everyone, let me take an hour to get my ball from the sand pit into the actual hole, and
from the sand pit to the other sand pit.
Yeah,
into the water.
Yeah. Which is why I think if you go with people that are equally talented, meaning not at all as me, then you just play best ball, so that no one feels shitty or gets left behind. And that's why the driving range is fine, because like you can fuck up and it doesn't matter. And you get to like try multiple times to kind of perfect your swing. Whereas you don't, like, as soon as you hit your drive, then you have to change whatever golf club you use and do a different shot, so you don't get to like focus on one thing and just get it down.
How do you feel about mini golf?
I haven't played in forever. I feel like there's indoor mini golf, which there's a place that I see is always packed with straight people in South Lake Union.
Yeah.
But yeah, that seems like a fun little date night idea.
Yeah. I think it's just so straight.
Even mini golf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to fix that. Let's take drag queens and go mini golfing.
The solution to any straight thing is bring drag queens there. Yeah. Drag queens playing mini golf seems a little bit more likely than getting them to play a full thing at golf.
Thing is, I think that they could then have more ridiculous outfits, right? Like if they're going to play actual golf, they still have to be able to like raise their arms over their head or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like a little putter, you just got to like move a little bit at the hips. They'd be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I like this.
Okay. You have an Ask Reddit?
I'm just going to read what someone posted to r/golf.
Okay.
I'm not going to read their username because it's offensive.
Oh.
This person said, I'm looking to get into caddy work during the summer to make some extra bucks. Some say you can make 500 to 1,000 in a busy week of hard work at some resorts. When I told my dad about this, he was shocked. He explained to me that the line of work isn't what I thought it might be. He tells me that caddies will perform services at the end of a round to old men, such as hand jobs, etc., and they get tipped heavily, and that's why caddies make lots of money.
Wow, that says a lot about that person's dad.
I have never heard of this, but I'm seriously reconsidering now. I was just interested in working hard physical.
Oh my God, crazy.
And then there is an edit that said, it's clear this isn't the case. Thanks, everyone. I will go for it. So clearly everyone was like, nah, that's not a thing. That's not what happens. This sounds like the start of a porn. When I was reading this, sometimes people post fake things that are like, just pretending like it's real life just to be like, I don't know, get off on it or get other people off on it. And this sounded like some kind of sexual situation that is like homoerotic.
I agree with you. And it also seemed like something that plausibly could happen in real life. Like, I bet some old white business dudes who are in the closet would ask a caddy if they could jerk them off.
How do you do that casually? How do you do that? Like, if you got to pick up on vibes from the caddy to be like, they're probably down for enough money. Like, you got to make the right. Yeah, that's a tough line to like cross while being chill about it.
Well, I think it's, you escalate the things that they will do for money. Right?
What's the starting point? Is it an HJ?
No. I mean, like, hey, can you schlep my golf clubs around all day? There's $100 in it for you. Can turn into, hey, could you run it over to the clubhouse and get me a beer and then tip him $1 when he does? To like escalate the asks.
Gotcha.
Although there does, at some point, it does have to jump to like,
can you hold my dick while I pee?
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Can I hold your dick while I pee?
Can I pee in your mouth? I need someplace to go and I don't want to damage the greens. Yeah, that was Reddit.
All right. Did we do it? We talked about golf a bunch.
I think golf is very straight when it's men and very gay when it's women.
I agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Cool.
Yeah. It's lesbianic as hell.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's also straight dudes.
Yep. And we know that lesbian stereotypes tend to be the same as straight dude stereotypes. So this fits in with that kind of picture.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
Yeah.
Well, should we take a break and then do the back nine?
Yeah, do my back nine.
Yeah. Speaking of Arnold Palmer. Okay. Let's take a break.
Break.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, hey, don't die, Kyle.
You can't, if you don't say anything, then I cut it out and no one knows.
Okay. We're going on a cruise with Derek and Romaine, the Live Love Podcast Cruise. It is going to be February 7th through 14th, 2027, in and out of LA, Mexican Riviera cruise. We would love to have you. $250 secures you a cabin. Just go to gayishpodcast.com/cruise and fill out the form and be sure to say Gayish is why you want to go. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, hang out with us. It'll be a blast.
Probably.
I hope.
We'll see what kind of mood I'm in.
Get our audiobook or our regular book, whatever you want.
Yeah, gayishpodcast.com/book.
Yeah.
That's where that is.
That's
and
where it is. Yep.
It is Patreon happy hour season, everybody. We do it once a quarter. And that's what we're doing this time too. Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be Wednesday, May the 7th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. All levels of Patreon are welcome to attend. Look in the app for the link.
Or on patreon.com.
Or on patreon.com. That's exactly right. Kyle.
Yes, Mike.
Local gay bar review is back.
Woo, that's exciting.
I have a bunch of them now, so I've got to, it's building up. I've been edging the local gay bar reviews.
And now you got to churn them out.
Yeah, here we go. So I'm going to talk to you about Pride Restaurant and Bar in Bangkok, Thailand.
Wow. Okay.
And it is I'm just going to read it. Oh, I was in a mood. I was so jet lagged. I think. Anyway, okay, here's what I put. Am I drinking only Leo beer so I can be objective? Maybe. Or an accident. It's cute here. Sat outside. The number of tiny ass bars in Salam 4 is intense. That's true. The little neighborhood is like, there's a lot of bars right there. This place is slightly larger though. I think it has an upstairs. Doing these by myself is sort of lonely and sad. Am I lonely and sad? There's a lot of solo white dudes sitting around here looking old. Am I one of them? Oh no. This place doesn't deserve it, but suddenly my existential crisis and shame lead me to give it 2 dildos. I'll feel bad about it later, but still this whole dildo business is about vibes and I'm on the struggle bus right now.
Wow. This seems like you rated your personal mental state as 2 dildos, not necessarily the bar.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back though. I'll be in Bangkok again, and maybe this will get an updated
second shot.
A second shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on social media at Gayish Podcast, or you can go to gayishpodcast.com/contact to find out where our Discord or Facebook group links are.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, especially if it's your gayest or straightest. It's 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical mailing address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. Do our gayest and straightest?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll go first.
Okay, go for it.
My gayest is watching Wicked on the plane.
Yeah.
And my straightest is the fact that it took me so long to see Wicked, and when I did not see it on the big screen.
Yeah.
Someone commented, I was like, I think Wicked just came out on the airplane, and I think I'm gonna watch there. And he was like, no, you got to see it on like at least a TV. And I did not do that, so I did not have the level of like commitment to Wicked to see it at the theaters when it first came out.
How was it? What did you think?
It was good.
Okay.
It wasn't incredible. It didn't change my life. The singing, of course, knowing that it was live is incredible. So that part is impressive. It was good. It was perfectly fine.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk offline about that.
Oh yeah. Do you have some strong opinions about Wicked that you need to get off your chest?
That it was great and exceeded my expectations. And I think it's about it's yes. You have to if you have any feminism in you, Kyle, you have to love it. I'm kidding. Difference of opinions about movies make the world go round. That's something my boss used to say. Okay, it's my turn. Straightest. The straightest thing about me this week is all of the weed whacking. I weed whacked so much out of my yard, and just power tools and being a man. And then the gayest thing about me this week was deciding which colors of flowers I wanted to go in which places in my yard.
Oh, cute.
And just having opinions about the colors.
Yeah.
We have a listener's gayest and straightest. This time it's from Hugo in France.
Yep.
Hi guys, calling in from France. I've been listening to your podcast for a couple of years now. It's always so fun and entertaining, so thank you for that. I finally have a gayest and straightest I'd like to share with you. So my gayest would be accidentally admitting to a room full of people that I find my straight roommate's boyfriend hot. That was awkward. And then my straightest is asking my boss for a raise, a disproportionately high raise, because I was kind of only hoping to get half of it, and then still getting the whole thing. That's it. Thank you so much and take care.
I mean, I definitely think that even when you find a situation where you have a friend who's straight and they're an ally and you're comfy, when they have hot friends, it is really hard to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Also, sometimes you ask for half and you get the whole thing.
That's true. Like all 10 inches. No.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Good for you.
Did we do it?
Yeah, I think we did it.
Thank you to golfers everywhere, especially the lesbians.
Yeah, thank you to Muffin for sure for coming out that early.
And to Tad for coming out late, but coming out at all.
Yep, because Lord
Fujikawa.
knows we need more gay men coming out in golf. And thank you to our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Locomotive, Simon Strachey, Kaylee Adams, Kit Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squaggle, Pip, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Yost Osel, Jonathan Montanius, Forrest Nail, Steve Douglas, Explosive Lasagna, Michael Covington, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, Jerome York, and Cian and Javi. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, sorry, I'm like leaking out of every orifice of my body.